Hello again, friends and fans. It's time for another Jason update. I hope you like this week's cartoon. That joke has been hanging around in my someday pile for a few years, and I am happy to have finally drawn it. I have also begun drawing the next Clarissa cartoon, so keep your Kleenex handy. So, now that I've been at the Patreon game for a few months, I may soon restructure what I offer in my subscription tiers to better reflect what kind of output I am actually capable of. Now, don't worry, no one is going to get less than what they are used to right now. I mean, how could you? It is only that when I began my Patreon after years of resisting the call, I had pie-in-the-sky ideas about using it to attract new fans rather than using Patreon to supplement my existing output over on whatisdeepfried.com. Going forward, I need to be mindful that I don't overpromise and underdeliver now that I have a better idea about how Patreon actually works. So I'll let you know what decisions I come to in my next update. Also, as of my next update, I plan to have my shit sorted and a new comic story begun that I will deliver on a weekly schedule. And I thank you all for your patience. I can't wait to get something new started, and it's about time after a several-month hiatus. I think that not having a new story underway has been frustrating me for all that time, since more so than creating pictures, telling stories is really where my heart lies. I'm still not sure which of my projects I will be diving into first when I begin cartooning again in earnest, but I'm very excited for several possibilities, so this will hopefully be a treat for all of us. I am also happy to report that my first big deal of 2025 will launch on April 7th, this being a Kickstarter to reprint the Weapon Brown graphic novel with a new cover, and with the first stretch goal being to print the book as a hardcover. It will be terrific if this Kickstarter succeeds, since it will allow me to finally replenish the inventory of my #1 product, and the success of this Kickstarter will really make a difference for my finances for the rest of the year. Eggs ain't cheap, you know. But now, let's jump ahead a year to 2026. I have already told you that this year is all about wrapping up Weapon Brown, Deep Fried, and Clarissa, clearing the way for the new original projects I want to launch, and now I want to give you a taste of those projects. I'm always coming up with new ideas for graphic novels, and who knows what I might want to chase as the year progresses. As for right now, there are two contenders that I am most focused on to fulfill my plan to have something fresh to debut for Free Comic Book Day 2026. Both are in the embryonic stage, and I don't know if I will be only writing or writing and drawing one or both of these, so I welcome your comments on which of these seems most interesting to you. The first of these comics is a sci-fi horror story called Unearthed. Here's the pitch. We begin with a modern Central American Indian tribe returning to their village with a large stone they have dug up in the rainforest that they intend to use in a ritual. When they begin clearing the mud from the stone, they notice some strange markings carved into the underside. As the villagers stare at the stone in curiosity, an old woman collapses, having what appears to be an epileptic fit. Cut to America sometime later. We meet our protagonist, an everyman with a young family. The man and his son visit a museum which has an exhibit of artifacts from the extinct Toltec civilization. One of the artifacts is a stone tablet with odd markings. They examine it with interest, and then the father collapses on the floor in a fit. Thus begins the man's descent into a nightmare world as he begins to comprehend that something long buried is on the verge of being discovered, that something evil is about to be unearthed. The next project is the space opera I have been telling you about. I'm not prepared to share the project's name yet, but here's a little taste of what's in store. The story opens with a gigantic generational spaceship tumbling helplessly between the stars, unable to reach a new world. Inside the vessel are millions of people, the remains of humanity, engaged in a terrible war caused by their desperate circumstances. With all hope lost and the Voyager's resources dwindling, a college of techno-sages pursue the only avenue of salvation left to them, an experiment to unlock a minor psychic talent in the human brain, discovered centuries earlier but never exploited. When their efforts bear fruit, a new aeon for humanity begins, built on the power unleashed by the intersection of transcendental logic and religious mysticism, a power known as Storm. Yeah, getting you a little excited? I hope so. But while you are waiting for these projects of mine to debut, you should amuse yourselves with an anime series I just watched called Freerun. It's on Netflix, and it is a clever and engaging story that begins not at the start of, but at the end of an epic journey. The titular Frieren is an immortal elf mage and a member of a party of adventurers who have just completed a D&D style campaign that has saved their fantasy world. The story then jumps ahead decades to show what has become of the quest heroes, Friren's friends, as they age and pass away while Frieren remains timeless. It was exciting and sentimental and really subverted my expectations. 5 bags of popcorn.
Thanks for watching.
Lastly, I want to express a hearty welcome back to Ronnie Filyaw and his adorable and very funny comic strip, Whomp. Ronnie took a hiatus for the better part of a year, or maybe it was more than a year, to get his mental health on an even keel, and I am super stoked to see him back drawing and in fine form. I will post a link to his site below, and I recommend that everyone give Whomp a try. Alright, that's all I've got for you. Until next time, it's back to the old drawing board.
Eat shit, honey.
Homie, you pooped on my face.